Good afternoon. Tara Doyle-Enneking here with the Puyallup Sumner Chamber of Commerce, and I am happy to have Leslie Barstow here, who is the Manager of Community Relations for the Port of Tacoma. Leslie, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me and welcome.
Absolutely. So a couple things, there's a lot of things that go on around us, and there's a time where the business community should be informed. And there's even a potential call to action that comes to our attention. And so that is what we've arrived at today. The port, along with other partners that Leslie will explain to us, have been busy the last couple of years on a Tacoma Tideflats Subarea Plan. And why that's impactful to our community with our large manufacturing and distribution facility, our MIC centers. We obviously rely a lot on the port, and should that port change any demographic about it, its ability, its use, you can see the trickle down effect of how that could gravely impact our businesses as well. So today, Leslie, thank you for being here to kind of shed some light on all of that. I know you have a presentation to share, but why don't you give us a little background on how we've arrived at this point? What's the plan? Who are the parties that are involved?
Sure. Thank you, Tara. The Tideflats Subarea Plan is part of the larger planning that the city of Tacoma is doing. The Subarea Plan has a goal of looking at regulations for business, land usage, and it's very specific in this case to the MIC around the Tideflats. Actually, the partners in this are the city of Tacoma, Pierce County, the city of Fife, the port, and the Puyallup Tribe of Indians. So it has taken a while to get all those governments kind of at the table and moving this thing ahead in what direction they want to move it. A consultant has now come on board to help kind of guide that process. And so this is a presentation the consultant prepared to just give everybody a little quick look at where things are at the moment. We're in a phase of the plan where a lot of community input is needed. And they've been taking this to community leaders, to nonprofits, to different people in the area. And we really want the business community to be heard. And we really want them to have a voice. And so I'm just going to walk through kind of the briefing of where things are at the moment, and then talk to you a little bit about how you can have your voice heard and actually have some impact by sharing your thoughts.
Perfect.
So pull that thing up. Okay. So again, I'm the community relations manager for the Port of Tacoma, one of the entities involved in this. So I'm just going to kind of walk through a little bit about it and what exactly we got going on here. If I can get it to move. Hang on, I'm stuck. There we go. So the study area, as you can see on this map, is the 5,000 acres that makes up the Tideflats. A lot of people don't know the Port of Tacoma owns about half of that land. And a lot of our land is in the dock areas. And then we have some warehouses and other properties, including our habitat sites in that area. So there's about 2,500 acres, about half of all that land that is private property or owned by the Puyallup tribe or owned by a private company. This is a complex area, as most of you probably are aware, and you can just tell by looking at that map because you've got so many different things going on here where you've got the actual rivers that are coming into the area. There are tidal creeks that flow in. There are different areas where you actually have intertidal mixture. And then you've got about 10,000 people who are working down here every single day as part of either the port or one of those other companies or the tribe. So the goals that the city has laid out are to create the partnerships so that everybody kind of has a voice about land use here, and then coordinate how they're going to approach the planning from the development, environmental review, and then capital investment standpoint. And I think part of that is the questions are who will finally approve this, and that will be the City of Tacoma City Council as part of, because they have authority over the zoning for that area. So one of the things that's going on at the moment is what they're calling these visioning sessions, which we think the last one was Saturday. And this is why this is important to you, because as we are gathering comments from different people about all of these different categories, whether it's the transportation impacts of the area, it's the land use, environmental regulations, all of those things have ripple out to all of the businesses who use companies in this area, either as a supplier or they have trucks or things that need to get through this area. These are big decisions about land use and what does the transportation network look like, et cetera. So we really want to make sure your business isn't impacted in some way that would be negative. So that's partially why we want to make sure that you actually have the opportunity. And a lot of this is going to boil down to the questions that are on the next slide here, which are these 3 questions: greatest strengths and weaknesses of the Tideflats. What values do all the perspectives in the community share in the Tideflats? Jobs being probably a big one. And then what vision do you have for the Tideflats 20 years from now? And that last one takes a little bit of time to think it through, but I think, again, we want it to be still a vibrant place where people have employment and businesses doing well. So right now is the opportunity to kind of weigh in as to what things might affect that and what you want to see. This is the schedule of meetings that pretty much now are completed. The last one was on Saturday of the visioning times. The next visioning out report, so they're going to collect everything they've heard in these individual meetings and release that at the beginning of May. So what's happening in between and just debuted this week is they've released a survey, and I'm going to send Tara an email of how to get to that survey so that everybody, I would just encourage you, please take it. There's a lot of opportunity there to weigh in on a lot of different things. I took just a quick screenshot. This is sort of the landing page for the survey. So it's a story map. It's got an overview of the Tideflats. It's got sort of these buckets up here where it breaks down some information about environment and health, land use, economic development, transportation infrastructure, and then there's actually a button for the survey itself. So I just please everyone take the survey. You have till April 30th to complete that. So before, at that point, at the beginning of May, when they gather all the comments together, we just want to get all those comments in. And each of these tabs is going to have a little bit of background about each thing too. So as you're walking through the survey, you'll see questions from each of those buckets. So that's pretty much it. We're just in this sort of information gathering place right now, but it's just important that we hear from the business community and really would like you to just share your thoughts. You can get to this from the Tideflats Subarea Plan page on the City of Tacoma's website as well. So if you lose the email or you can't find the link or whatever, you can always just type in Tacoma Tideflats Subarea Plan and it will get you to the survey page.
Perfect. Well, that is fantastic, and we certainly appreciate the opportunity you've given us to comment. We'll be sure to push this out to our membership, and I think we have arranged for you to come speak at our Government Affairs Committee for the April meeting as well, with any updates and to talk to that audience. But yeah, happy to do our part and get you the feedback you're looking for.
Great, thank you, and thank you to everybody who participates.
Awesome. You have a great rest of your week.
Okay.
Thanks, Leslie. Always good to see you. Bye-bye.